Hey, what's up everybody? 8-Bit Flashback here. In today's video, I want to share with you a custom build I just got done with, which I have named Super Nintendo Ultra FC. To make this build, I used parts from a Super Famicom, a Super Nintendo Classic Edition, and a cartridge reading device called Classic to Magic. And here is the end product, a full-size Super Nintendo with a cartridge slot, USB port, and HDMI output. This console also supports a wide variety of emulators for systems such as Gameboy Advance, Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis, and much more. Originally, this console was designed to only play Super Famicom games, but now it can play games from all regions, including Japan, Europe, and USA. But in order to play Super Nintendo games from the US, which have a slightly larger shell, I did have to modify the cartridge slot opening in order for the games to fit properly. This console is compatible with pretty much all the official game cartridges released for Super Nintendo and Super Famicom, including the Super FX games. But certain games such as Doom do require the console to be overclocked in order to play with a decent frame rate. And here is a look at the USB port, which is part of the Classic to Magic device. But in order to access this port, I did have to cut a hole through the top of the Super Famicom shell. I also painted this console with some black metallic silver automotive spray paint, so this does have quite a bit of silver metallic flakes in the finish, but it's kind of hard to see on camera. So I tried to keep all the original features working, such as the LED light, reset button, and the power button. The only thing I was not able to keep functioning was the eject button, due to the mechanical features not being compatible with the Classic to Magic cartridge slot. Here is how the console works. After inserting a game cartridge, LED lights begin blinking on the Classic to Magic device, indicating it's reading the cartridge slot. Then it transfers the game data to the USB flash drive and stores it. Then when the console boots up, the game data gets loaded into the Super Nintendo Classic Edition hardware with the use of special software from Classic to Magic and Hakchi programs. For the controller ports, I removed the original Super Famicom ports and replaced them with the Super Nintendo Classic Edition ports, so now I can use my Classic Edition controllers or my wireless 8-bit Do controllers. I also replaced the hookup ports located on the back of the console. As you can see here, it now has an HDMI and a mini USB port. And here is a quick look at the bottom of the console, which features the original manufacturer stickers. And now I'm going to go ahead and test out another game and play some Super Street Fighter 2. So when I power the console on, the red LED light lights up just as it should. Then the console loads to a custom splash screen while the system boots up. And here's a look at the main menu. So I have a custom theme installed with a PAL version of Super Nintendo at the top and bottom of the screen, and a blue 3D grid tunnel for the background, along with some custom menu music that alternates every time the console is booted up. And now I can go ahead and play Super Street Fighter 2 by selecting the cartridge icon. And it appears that I just got my butt kicked. When I'm ready to exit a game, I can either push select and down at the same time, or push the reset button on the console, which I'll demonstrate here in a few. And here's a look at some of the other systems that can be played on this console. So all these extra systems play through a secondary front-end software called Retroarch, which loads separate emulators for each system. For the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom games, they can be loaded using the stock emulator provided on the Super Nintendo Classic Edition, or they can also be loaded using Retroarch as well. So I have the option to play the 21 stock games on the Super Nintendo Classic, or I can play games stored on the flash drive, or play the cartridge games. And now I'm going to go ahead and play Super Ghouls and Ghosts for just a few. And now I will go ahead and exit this game, but this time I will use the reset button, which takes me right back to the main menu. Okay, let's test out a Gameboy Advance game now, and I'm going to play some TMNT. So I do have the option to add custom folders and box art for all the games, and this can be done with the use of the Hakchi CE program. Now let's go ahead and try a different game. So I will power the console off and wait for it to shut down. Then swap the game, and this time I will try the regular Street Fighter II for Super Famicom. Now I can go ahead and power it back up, and this time it should boot up some different menu music. And there is Street Fighter II. Let's see if I can play this game any better. For myself, as far as fighting games go, I was always more of a Mortal Kombat fan versus Street Fighter, so I never really got that good at Street Fighter. Well, at least I did a little bit better this time. I almost got him. Okay, let's try another cartridge game out. So I will push reset to get back to the main menu, then power down the console again. And this time I will try out a PAL region Super Nintendo game. This is Winter Gold, which is also a Super FX chip game. So this game is unique because it was exclusive to just the PAL region, and it was also one of the very few games that utilize the Super FX chip. This game has a very cool soundtrack, and it also features some pretty cool 3D graphics that push the limits of the Super Nintendo. Okay, it's now time for me to go, but I will leave you with a bunch of gameplay footage from various systems, such as Sega 32X, Nintendo 64, Game Gear, and more. If you liked this video, if you could hit that like button, and please subscribe. And have yourself a great day, and I'll see you next time.
Police choppers. Hands up!